So we have a double header today. Nothing I haven't experienced in a while, but I know for a fact that both these players are cheating. I will switch to our Akara-san after this guy gets shot a couple times, but you should know that they are both cheating. They're not very good, but they also have an extremely high amount of premiums for both players. I'm going to pause this real quick while I set everything up here. I'll switch to him in a sec, but I'm going to show you his record right now. It's one of those things where it's not very good accounts that are just all of a sudden cheating. Now, I've said before that stats obviously aren't an indicator of someone cheating, but in this case, this very much feels like someone who just up and decided to do it one day, and or it was a stolen account. This, to me, based on what these are, this just feels like someone who just started doing it one day and is now just their go-to way of doing cheating. Obviously, we don't encounter cheaters all that often, or at least as a pair, but the funny thing is that I encountered this player. I wasn't actually fully looking for, two people when it came to this, but obviously when you investigate players, you're looking for pretty much anything right now, and when someone's shooting at someone behind a building, you know for a fact that that is complete and utter nonsense. Also, the fact that he's looking at people directly through smoke, tracing them through smoke, all of that necessary nonsense. Our Carbason in sec is going to be the person who is much more obvious later on down the road when he dies after he's in his namer. His namer, he peeks through things, but he's also a lot more subtle with his actions. Our friend here is, popping smoke and then staring at people through said smoke. That should be fairly obvious as to how stupid it is that you would try to get away with this. I am going to bring up something here that I think people really need to hear. Now, obviously I mentioned David J in my other video, and how, let's put it this way, I'm a nice enough human being that I say if someone is not doing something malicious anymore and they've effectively paid for it, then they should not be harassed for it. I was made aware, not from David, but from a couple other people, that David has been effectively ostracized on every server he plays on. I've also found out that he apparently got doxxed and or harassed in real life. This is also the reason why I don't attach anything to my socials. I am a fairly private person when it comes to gaming accounts and whatnot, but it's also where the point where I can't really be around someone if they're not trustworthy or whatever, and I try to be as private as it comes to be from my normal life, which is how most people should. It's the reason why if you interact with anybody on Steam, they should be someone you effectively trust, and if you are not the person who is closing down your messages on Steam where anyone can contact you, I would believe you're pretty special. People that allow you to get randomly contacted on Steam where they find that, oh, I'm being reported, I accidentally reported your account, and all these review scams that I've seen constantly pop up recently. You don't need to do that. You just need to privatize your account a little bit. Getting back to the point, people need to stop harassing individuals who cheat, okay? Now, I understand that it is wrong for people to cheat in the first place. I completely understand that. I understand that that is a very reasonable thing to think about when it comes to, oh, we don't want people to cheat. I completely understand that. The thing I don't want people to do is something that's really simple. Now, you'll see right here what I'm talking about with this player. I will point out what he does more obviously in a sec. The basic principle is this. If you are going to, now I'm not saying you should, if you're going to harass anybody, harass the cheat makers, because they effectively are the problem in this entire scenario right here is what I'm talking about. You cannot see this guy at all, and he starts 50 caling the woods, and then he gets shot because he's stupid. The principle of this is really simple. Do not harass individuals because you do not like them. I understand that my video got a lot of press, a lot of views on it. I understand that that's a very popular video on my channel. The thing is, it's the reason why I'm not doing another video on it is because it's beating a dead horse at this point. Okay? I did 2 videos on said player. I understand it got a lot of views on it. I understand it went really popular, and I understand that that person is not gone. Okay? In this point, I am saying bygones be bygones. Gaijin is clearly inept at doing their job in the first place, and that's apparent to everybody who knows my channel in realizing that there are so many players who are still not banned several months later, even years later at this point, and Gaijin still hasn't resolved the cheating issue. And they don't want help with it because they are just that bad at resolving cheating issues in this game. So, for the absolute love of God, if you are going to do anything mean to anyone individually, go after the cheat makers. I'll give you a great example to go after. And I know, guess what? They have a Discord. So I keep getting pinged by this channel that is advertising on YouTube. And I made a post about it. This Spectre Cheats that keeps popping up in my feed. I understand that they exist. I know that they're around. The problem is Gaijin has to actually physically do something about it by saying, hey, we're going to DMCA your videos. The only reason why I would say Gaijin would do that correctly is because they need to get rid of the problem. The problem is Gaijin doesn't want to get rid of the problem on their own game, so they'd rather just, oh, I'll just get rid of it on YouTube, which is not solving a single freaking thing. If you want to go after somebody, well, guess what? That Spectre Cheats, well, I did blur it in my own video because I'm not advertising for them. They have their own Discord. You wanna do that? There you go. They have a Discord. Go after the cheat makers. Go after the Chinese makers that are doing this. Go after the people creating the problem in the first place. And if you want to show your disdain for Gaijin, don't purchase any premiums, review bomb them again, and absolutely rip them in half in the forums if you want to. Because, as always, the only thing that happened last time to get Gaijin's attention was to review bomb them. And now, Gaijin's reviews went back up, but oh, they're being complacent again. It's totally fine. They'll just do whatever. That's the problem. They got complacent again, and now we're going to basically have to put them back in their place because of the fact that Gaijin is being an absolute loser when it comes to dealing with the actual problem. And we all know that Gaijin doesn't like dealing with problems. They'd rather just put it on the back burner and make it miserable for everybody else. And I will always be a critic of Gaijin until they fix their stuff. Because at this point, they are blatantly disregarding their community and just milking them dry for what it's worth. Because I honestly believe at this point, they have very little care for their game, which used to be, by the way, one of the most amazing games to play. It was my go-to game. Now, like I said, I still play it, but it was my go-to game, like every day. Loved playing it, loved enjoying it. It was great. I didn't mind, my grind. Nowadays, it's kind of a cesspool that is of a company that doesn't care about its community or what's going on with it. So, as always, if you have a player in question you want me to put in my comments, please leave it in the format that I leave above in my pinned comment. If you have any comments you want to leave to me as well in question, or just bring up any comments of what I've discussed today, as always, leave it in my comments. And as always, I hope you have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night, and have a good one.